"Hey, we ought to have something to celebrate." Some guy said, "Yeah." He says, "I'll go get some." So a couple of guys, they jumped off in a pickup truck. And they was gone probably 15, 20 minutes. They came back and they had the bottles. And this guy who was with me, I can't place him, but he went for that stuff in a big way. Well, I was doing the driving, and I wasn't about to even smell it. Because I guess the smell was bad enough. We got started for home, and I got tired. I was real tired. I found a place to sleep, and I wondered, what am I going to do with that guy? Leave him in the car and sober up? No, I couldn't do that, so I dragged him inside and threw him in the bedclothes and all.
Now, that was at a race at Darlington that you were saying?
I don't remember just where that was.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seemed like the one constant after all these races was everybody got into the white lightning, so to speak.
But, you know, that's what started NASCAR to begin with. Old Bill France watched the guys haul moonshine, you know, from one place to another. Thought they were pretty good driving, getting rid of the cops and one to another, so he said, I guess I'll build me a track and we'll put them on a track where they can really race. So that's how NASCAR originated.
Yeah, it was. That Junior Johnson and Curtis Turner and guys like that.
Yeah.
Now, did you race against Junior and Curtis?
No,
They were after you.
They must have been after me. Yeah. Yeah, I quit in 54, 55.
Okay.
And Junior, I don't know just what...
Yeah, he came up after you did.
Yeah.
Now, let's start right at the beginning. How did you get interested in racing? Was it just you just like to drive fast?
Yeah. I think one of my bulletins here that told how I was riding uptown as a kid. He bet me that my car wouldn't stand up under wide open throttle in second gear. Well, I took him up on him. And we come down through Stillwater there, wide open in second gear. And that kind of gave me a thrill. I thought, well, maybe that'd be a good idea to learn how to do that and do it on the track. So that was the start of it.
Did you blow it up?
No, that old 51 Ford.
V8?
V8.
And down through Stillwater you went in second gear.
Second gear wide open.
Now, at that time, was Pennyroyal in existence, or did they build it later? I think it was.
It was there.
Uh-huh.
And, but I don't know whether I got over onto it yet or not.
So that was the car you raced, that 51 Ford?
No, that was my own car.
Oh, that was your own car. So what did you put together to race with?
Well, we had a Model A Roadster that we stripped down. That's what we used in the green. It was a kind of a open job.
No roof?
No roof on it.
No roll bar?
I don't think it even had the roll bar. It might have had.
Seat belt?
Yeah, that's another thing. I think it had a belt in it.
No helmet?
Yeah, I had a helmet. Then, that's where, of course, the dust was so thick out there, you couldn't tell whether You was racing one car, two cars anyhow. So,
how'd you navigate around? You kind of just watch the guy ahead of you and try to get by him, or?
I got evidence here following the guy. I had my goggles on, both of them. He was picking up them rocks and throwing them at me. I couldn't get around him. And, that was tough going that dust. You come out of the second turn and go up the back stretch, and then there was a big maple tree out beyond the third turn. When you see that, you started to make a left-hand turn.
So that was your marker, the maple tree. If you didn't turn left at the maple tree, where did you go?
Right out into cow pasture.
Did you ever end up in the cow pasture?
Yeah, that was it. That was it, right in the boonies.
How often did you end up out there?
I never did.
Oh, good.
No, I never did. It was just luck, I guess, that I didn't, because we always made the third turn. You get halfway through that, and then you could see the fourth turn in the front stretch.
Now, did you do anything to the car at all to make it raceable, or did you just strip everything off that you could?
The fellows that owned the car was from Salamanca. And it was a Roadster with a V8 engine in it. So it was, they would work on it, but one time I worked, let's see, didn't have no, I'll take that back. Some reason or other I couldn't shift it. But that was another deal like that. I just don't recall that.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was a mess over there, but I don't know, I got a kick out of it. Wendy Anderson from the other side of the county there, he was in there, and we didn't draw a very big crowd, but
You had fun.
had fun, and the kid got killed there. He come there with a top on his car. Somebody told him to cut it off, make it like a roadster. And he did that. Next week the thing rolled over, and evidently he didn't have safety belts, because his head got crushed with one of the posts where he saddled off. So,
Were you there that day?
yeah, I was in that race.
And took the edge off of that day.
Took the edge off of that. No, that was too bad.
Now those cars they were standard shift, were they?
Yeah.
3 speeds?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be competitive, did you have to put different tires on them, or did they do anything to the carburetors, or was that pretty much before that kind of stuff came in?
Pretty much, of course, the Model A, that was the old flathead 4-cylinder, and this one they put in a V8, so that gave it quite a lot of wow. And
how old were you when you started at Penny Royal, do you remember?
yes.
You had to be in your 20s, I would think.
Probably later than that. I was older than that, probably.
Yeah, because Leadfoot and Spanky are in their 70s, and they said they were in their teens. So, yeah, I guess you had to be a little older. Yeah. You remember racing against them? Spanky and Hallett?
Bob Hallett.
Yeah. Now, did they ever keep standings or anything there, or was it just a case of going on a Sunday afternoon, having a good time, and giving $25 to the guy who won?
That's about the size of it. That's about the size of it.
Where'd you end up if you missed the turn?
Down in the bank.
Near the water?
No, the water was after that. The water was up the first and second turn.
Well, once you got down there, did you get stuck in the sand, or did somebody yank you out or push you out?
You stayed right there. You're lucky if you didn't land on top of another car that was down in there.
They didn't stop the race, though.
No, keep on going.
When would they stop the race? Did they ever have yellows or reds, or did they just keep going unless the track was black?
No, they usually kept on going if you was anywhere near the pit, so you could pull in and get out of the way and let them go.
Now, was there any such thing as a pit stop? I mean, could you come in to get repairs, or?
Well, yeah, but in the 100-mile race you didn't have to heat the gas up or anything. It was no tires or nothing like that. So you usually made the 100 miles with Pepsi West cautions. And, but where they really could get around them, they just went out around them and like that north turn there, you can see a bunch of them up there.
That's amazing how close the fans were. Did you ever have to worry about fans getting actually on the track in front of you?
No, they'd run down there all over just like cattle.
Now, that car that I'm looking at in the picture, that's a Lincoln?
That's a Lincoln, yeah.
Was that your main, was that the car that you drove when you finished fourth to Rexford?
Yeah.
All year long?
No, we trade off. One year there I drove with Trexler. That year there was Lincoln. We might have had another Lincoln in there. He traded off every year. He'd give us a car.
You and Rexford were a team that whole time?
Yeah.
Was there a rivalry between you as far as who was going to finish first, or did you just go as hard as you could and then whatever happened, happened?
That's right. Whoever finished first was the lucky one. He was in a race one time, last time, the place where that was. You and I must have qualified pretty good, because when you lined us up, we put us right in the rear. That was all right. We didn't care as long as we could race. So during the race, we worked ourselves up through the pack. And finally got up. Gus was practically leading the whole thing. And then my bellbird come out. His numbers said 55 goal. And I thought the situation 55, that's me. And he wants me to get after Bill.
Right.
So that's what happened. We finished that way. But Rexford, when he got out of his car, he shook his fist at Julie. He was mad in the hornet. What'd you do that for? I said, we had things all sold up. Yeah, but Julie said, you come here to race, didn't you?
So you actually wound up beating him that day?
No, I didn't beat him. I come in second.
And he won?
He won it.
Well, you can't do much better than that for the team, 1-2.
That's right.
Now, do you remember anything, what your best time at Daytona was, your best finish, or
I finished
you did well at Daytona. It says you had a 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s.
Yeah.
So you were every race you were there, you were in the top 10.
Yeah, so it was different cars, and
Remember remember any of the guys you raced against? I know Lee Petty probably was one of them.
Lee Petty and I were bitter enemies all on the track. We were buddies when we got off on it.
How'd you get to meet Lee?
I think the first time I ever see Lee was, it might have been in Dayton, Ohio. And Dayton, we could come in off the highway in Dayton. The track was kind of in the hollow, right? And I told Julie, I don't like this track. No, that's another thing, but we got down in there and got the monkey around, get my car ready. Lee come over, says, you ain't been around there yet? I said, no, we're just getting set up. He said, you want to take my car? No. I said, I don't want to take your car. But Lee was good. He offered me to drive his car around the track.
That's when you made friends with him. I mean, that was a nice thing to do. He didn't have to do that.
No, he didn't. He was a good guy.
And did he ever have his son Richard with him when this was going on?
Yeah. One time in Rochester, in the Old County Fairgrounds, he come to us. He said, have any lunch? No, we ain't getting time for lunch. Oh, I said, come on. He went down the back end of his little thing. He had a bushel of sandwiches. Yeah. No sandwiches. I was at lunch. No.
But you never raced against Richard. Richard was quite a bit after that.
Yeah.
Now, what about, do you remember the guy that was in the first race on the big track, the Speedway, the Beauchamp? Johnny Beauchamp, was it? Was he on the sand too?
I haven't known something, but I can't place that guy. Yeah. No, I think he went into big guy racing too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the Flocks? You raced against them.
Tim, Connie, Bob, I raced against all of them.
I heard they were pretty tough customers.
I sit on the pole, and I think I was at Dayton with Tommy. But they were good guys. Tim and Bob was a little bit wilder person. Tim and Fanny, they were medium guys, good guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were all decent guys. Yeah.
Would you say that most of them it was more or less a family affair where guys would help each other out? Was there a lot of nut cutting going on where, if you needed a part and some other guy had it, he'd give it to you, right?
That's the way it started out, yeah. We always associated with one another. When he was in the pits getting ready for a race, last time we got and talked with different guys, and they'd come in their outfits, and it was just a fellowship, that's what it was.
Did it ever get nasty out on the track?
No. One time, I beat Lee out qualifying just by a part of a second. And in that race, I seem know that was up in Detroit. We going up into the third turn, and we come up and banged into the back of my car. Well, when the race was over, I went and chewed him out about it. Asked him what was going on. Nothing. Says, it was just an kind of an accident on purpose.
And after that, everybody was fine?
Fine, yeah. When I was in the grandstand, I asked Julia if he wanted wanted me to race his car, just a 10-mile race. He says, sure. He says, if you want to drive, go ahead. While we were sitting in the pits, we're up in the grandstand, they're watching the rest of them. Well, I made up my mind I was going to go and race. So that's after I'd qualified, and then after the race, during the race, that's when he booted me in the back end a little bit. Just to let me know he was there.
Well, I gotta let you know he was there, but as long as he didn't drive over you or something like that. And you know, a lot of guys have gone through NASCAR their whole career and never won one, so you're a leg ahead of them. It looks like the win you had was at Winchester. Tell me about that race.
I didn't realize that Bill was going to that, but Bill was in the same race too. That was out west of us here. And,
is that Indiana? Winchester, Indiana? I think it was.
Yeah. And, we got in that doggone race. And some of the guys that were racing at another track. So, there was only about a quarter of a crew that raced down Winchester. But, we was lucky. I got up into the lead there about 2/3 of the way up to the track, and there's a race. Guys went on to win the darn thing. So that was my first win.
Do you remember who finished second?
No, I can't say that.
Were any of the flock boys in that race?
No, I imagine they were in the other part of it.
But Rexford was there.
Rexford was there. Yeah.
Now that one shows that you won $1,000. That was one of your biggest paydays. Although it looks like Dayton was you won the most money because you raced there 6 times.
Yeah.
You must have liked Dayton after a while.
I did.
You learned to like it.
The first time I went around there, I was a little shaky. The second or third time I got used to the track a little, and then I really liked it. Baseball, and it went good.
When you went to a new track, were the other guys that had been there before, were they willing to share information as far as how to get around it?
Not particularly. We didn't inquire too much. We were so busy with our own equipment, getting ready that if we'd asked them, I'm sure they would have helped out.
Now, is the equipment, the Lincoln and the Chrysler that you drove, those were right out of the showroom, huh? They took those were stock cars, literally, that were, and what did you do to them to make them stock cars, other than kick the glass out?
Put a safety belt in them.
Roll bar?
No, I don't think you had a roll bar.
Oh, you didn't have to put a roll bar in.
No.
What about the motors?
Stop.
So it was just the way it came. You didn't, I mean, there must have been some things you did with the carburetors to...
We tried to get a hold of some aviation gas.
Okay, you wanted higher octane.
When we could get it. Outside the last way they were stopped. Taking that off, I took Jerry's wife's Mercury. Down one time, when the qualifiers did, I rolled it downside down and around.
Took it home in a basket for her. Was she thrilled with that?
I wasn't around to get the results.
I think it's a good thing you gave it some distance. So you just took it out of the box and painted a number on it, and away you went.
Later time, on the smaller cars on the Ford, we'd reinforce the wheels, put a plate around the wheels, and wheel that in.
And that was for what? For the debris?
that was the strength, and that's the time you pull wheel right off right through the studs. You want a whole ring would bust right out the ring and the 5 stud bit.
Okay.
So this was to strengthen that, the hot part of the wheel. And,
Different gearing?
not so much. He'd pick a car for the track, size of track, and that's what we'd try different cars. I even drove an old once.
An old?
Old, yeah.
Like Rex for that? Now, how many, when you were in the NASCAR circuit, how many of the tracks were dirt and how many were paved? Were they mostly dirt?
Mostly dirt, yeah. Darlington was listed as one of the very first, was paved. Yeah.
And according to that, you raced Darlington 4 times. You didn't finish in the top 10 there. How hard was that to drive?
Very rough on equipment, tires. Had good road tires and...
What was hard about that? I know it's an egg shape.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot I remember we had a pickup, not a pickup truck, but a ton truck with a kind of dump box on it, going around the track, picking up rubber, you know. It was rough on tires, new track. But,
that wasn't one of your better tracks. What kind of tires? Did they actually have specially made race tires then, or were you still strictly getting them right off the pile at this local dealer?
Yeah, you could get what they call the racing tire, but it wasn't much better here than the girl stuff.
Now, were they slicks, or did they have tread?
No, they had tread on them.
Do you ever remember? You were probably gone before they went to the slick. Because on dirt, you needed tread.
Yeah, we never ran in the slicks.
Was there anything you could do to those tires? Did you file on them or wedge them or anything?
No.
Just the way they were?
Just the way they were. It's funny, in the smaller racing, half a pound here, quarter of a pound on that, we used to put 40, 45 pounds in and go out and race.
45 pounds. It was like hockey pucks.
Yeah. You needed good old tire in that sand. Because you ran a little bit soft. Between the soft tire and the sand, you weren't doing very much.
If the thing was all stock and you had stock tires, you really didn't need a crew then. What did the crew do?
Wish you Merry Christmas when you come around.
Hold the board up and tell you you're behind or you're ahead, or shake their fist and say pick it up?
Yeah.
Be the cheerleaders then.
That's what I wanted to. Wild would get behind the guy and he'd dish in that clay and then fill your radiator full. You get the heat and then put some water on trying to get the radiator clean. I think I've seen pictures where the steam would roll out of these hoods, you know, they get the hood and it would be so hot that it just boil that water right out of them.
When you were racing, the rules were very simple, correct? I mean, it was stock equipment and stock tires. When did people start cheating? Were you gone before they started cheating? Or what could you do to trick up a car?
When we couldn't fairly close down there in one race, I know they impounded our car. But all we done is just impounded it per se. And as the crowd left and the rest of the guys left, they were getting the car and go home.
So what did they say they impounded it for? Just to thought you were cheating? Oh,
confession.
now was there any way that guys could do that? but you wouldn't know it because they didn't have the technology to detect them.
That's right.
Did you get a sense that guys were cheating?
We never even thought of it. Actually,
It was a social event, more or less.
we didn't know what to do to cheat.
So if you could have, you wouldn't have known how.
If we wanted to, we wouldn't know what to do.
Nowadays, Petty tells you, Richard says, the guy who cheats the best is the guy who wins the most.
That's right.
But I take it there was no such thing as a nitrous bottle or anything that you could have in your car when you need an extra jolt.
No, I never see it. Never even thought of it.
Or trick gears or anything like that.
No, every time we changed gears, that was before a race. Like I say down there in Heidelberg. But, no, shocks, we put on heavy-duty shocks or something like that.
What about stagger? They hadn't come up with that idea yet.
No. No. Front-ends were practically the way you drag them on the road, you know. No excess camber, no caster or nothing like that. They were stopped. That's one thing today. NASCAR, you know, you figure it out. These cars are no more stock than anything under the sun.
There is no stock.
There is no stock.
That's a name.
So, I got a lawyer friend that I thought I'd have some fun with him. Sometimes I'd talk with him and just have him write him a letter, you know, and it wouldn't mean nothing.
So you raced NASCAR for 4 years. What finally ended the career?
Well, Bill dropped out of it, actually, and then I stayed with Julie for, I guess, part of that next year. And then on the farm here, my folks, my dad and mother was elderly. I had a wife with no kids around here, and she knew what to do with. She was running the place, and I figured, well, I've had my fun now. It's time to come home and tend to business.
No regrets.
No regrets. I had fun. Maybe regrets I had. I missed, well, my family. I couldn't take them all the time with all the kids.
Now, when you went on the road, did you stay out for weeks at a time, or did you come home after each race?
I would come home. We'd get up. I used to get up, sometime 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, get ready to go to the race. Yeah.
When did you get to where you weren't driving the car to the track? You were using trailers, or were you using tow bars? What did you?
Never we drove it.
You always drove the car you were going to race to the race.
Yeah. And if you was dumb enough to have it wrecked, you was dumb enough to have to fix it.
And you had to fix it to get. Now, how often did that happen? Where you had to fix it till you came home?
Too often. You would be concerned. Well, I drove down the beach, the windshield was all sandblasted. That was a little bit touchy at night. You couldn't be seen. Flashes light where there wouldn't be flashes light. But we got through it.
What was the scariest thing that you ever had happen to you in a race? I take it you never roll one over.
I rolled one all the time. That was nothing. That shook me up.
Remember where that was?
I remember they put me, they did let me sleep for about an hour. They wake me up every hour.
Oh, they thought you had a concussion.
Poor Juliet, they'll wake up every hour and see that I was still kicking. But, yeah, I thought was put on a joint, but that was about the scariest thing, I think.
And would you say the highlight of your career had to be that win at Winchester, or were there other races that actually you had more fun in?
Yeah, I really loved all of it. This race at Langhorne. Yeah, Langhorne, 7-mile track.
Right.
Yeah, that was, I finished out there one time.
Top 5, it says right here. Yeah, you were at the top 5 at Langhorne. That was a tough track. They said that track was round. It wasn't. How could you drive a round track? You must have been leaning the whole time. You must have been sore when you got out of the car.
Yeah. You just put her in the left turn and poured the coal to it. Yeah. Remember, somebody had lost a tire wheel and had run over that. And I picked him up and poked a hole through the crankcase, through a hole. And the last lap or two, then I slowed down for the pits at one time. Oil. And I was going to stop. The next time they wouldn't let me stop. They were in that old Lincoln. Obviously, because that time. And the next mile with the oil in it. And hold her in. You see what the trouble was. It seemed to have Curtis Turner, Curtis Turner, all his rings about is the rear end was growling something ferocious. And they knew it, but I didn't know it. They told me afterwards. And they figured he was going to drop out if he really was win the race. But I don't know what, when they had to pull up and fix that hole in the hole in that crazy oil. With the name in the top of swallowing like ferocious at 5 minutes or so before they got filled up, hydraulics. And, but, as far as pit stops were concerned, there wasn't too many pit stops, 100 miles or 150 miles, you could make it on a tank of gas. And so that,
How many guys used to go out on the road with you?
well, there was the fellow called here from Corey the other day, his name was Jerry Hoyt. He worked for Julie and Corey, same time I did. And another guy from the area, and Gene Boosing, he'd go around. So it'd be at least 3, 4.
That's really all you needed. Give each other moral support.
That's all, yeah. Yeah. It was 5 years of experience, 5 years of fun, 5 years of leaving my family to shift for themselves, you might say.
Well, you had it to do. I mean, if you hadn't done it, you probably would have been wondering what would have happened, right?
Yeah.
Who were some of the guys? You mentioned Lee Petty. You mentioned Curtis Turner. Were there any, and the Flock Boys? Do you remember anybody else particularly that you had a good relationship with, that went on the bigger and better thing?
Oh, boy. right now, just can't.
That book should have. Yeah, that book should have that year. Get that. Remember whatever happened to Rexford after he dropped out? Did you lose track of him?
He went to California for something. He was working out there, and that's where he passed away out there in California. I don't know what the reason was. Never did the ear.
Fireball Roberts, remember him?
Yep.
He was. Did you know him?
Yeah. Red Baron come to Julie or somebody down there one time after a race, and wanted to know who the dickens I was who was driving that old Lincoln. I guess I must have been giving him a hard time or something. Yeah, Red Baron, whatever. Anyhow, the names skip away from you. But, Jimmy Reed drove. He was the short track champion. Roscoe Papillon. They brought him. There's some hot rods in Erie. Then I'd run, I guess, 3 or 4 races. They brought old Pappy Huff in to straighten me out. What he did. I'd had car trouble up. Old Pappy come in there, and him and I was good buddies.
So he helped you, coach you how to drive, or help you with the car?
No, he was just a good friend. And, so each race we'd always get together and chew the fat a little bit.
Were you well aware in 1951 of the standings? Were guys really concerned with trying to win the championship? Or was it a case where you just went out and did the best you could and the chips fell?
Yeah, whatever. I know Rexford won, what the heck year did he?
51, I think it was.
Well, no, that wasn't in the forethought of our mind too much. We were just having fun. Yeah.
Traveling around, and you covered a lot of ground. I mean, you went to a lot of different places.
A lot of different races. Yeah. And then Toronto, Canada. I remember that. Some of the guys says, I'd hate to live up here. Then we'd say, oh, no, I'll take it all back. Look at all them pretty girls.
Yeah. That was a good attraction.
Yeah.
Now, did you race at in a stadium there, or was it a regular track? Do you remember?
That was a regular track up there. And that's where I lost. Somebody took my helmet. Up in Toronto. Threw it in the car. When the race was over,
Somebody backed off with it.
that's very nice, and somebody walked off with it.
Were those leather helmets, or was there a hard shell to them?
Hard shell to them.
Well, there was.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't fiberglass because they didn't have that then, so it must have been. It was a metal helmet. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But, Mark's on it, made, boy, all these pretty girls.
That'll get you to come back. Well, yeah.
Well,
So it was a case where it was an itch you had to scratch, and you scratched it. And has NASCAR been in touch with you at all?
yeah. I've been in a bus. Carrying that diamond with the sticks right up there.
Okay.
That Donnie, my nephew, got me hooked in into that. He seen in the paper or on the news somewhere that they put him with a certain name was the oldest one in NASCAR. And he spotted it, and he got right on their neck and said, no, that ain't right. He said, my uncle's the oldest one. And through this conversation, he made 2-3 telephone calls and wrote 2-3 letters and got it straightened up around him. This Buzz Fannin, whatever his name is, he sent me some stuff.
That was nice of him to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a half a mile. I'm not sure of the length.
Who would you consider when you were racing in the NASCAR ranks? Who was the toughest competitor out there? Other than you, of course.
Well,
The Flocks?
the Flocks, Curtis Turner,
Lee
Petty, and
Red Byron, of course.
Overhead, Herb Thomas.
Oh, yeah, right. I remember that name.
Herb had a car taken away from him. He threw it off a rental or something. Took it down to one of these places and they come down and got it.
He tried to race a rental car?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, your car owner, again, who was that? Julie?
Busink.
Julie Busink. B-U-S-I-N-K, and she was out of where?
Finley.
Out of Finley Lake. And she, now I'm saying she, I assume it was a she. It was a he. All right, what was his name? Julius? Julian Busink, and he was, okay, that was Julie, and he was out of Finley Lake, and he was the one really that without him, do you think you would have gotten into NASCAR?
No. No. Because I didn't even know anything about NASCAR until Bill came up that time and Bill met her and then he ran the race. Right on.
That's how it all started.
That's how it started. This is
Yeah, that's a pretty good record of the whole career.